Is this one of the best all-rounders you can buy for the money? The BMW M340i. What used to be a 60k car brand new, now 25k, which is quite a bargain for what you're getting. And what do you get? Well, B58 underneath the bonnet. BMW's inline-six single twin-scroll turbocharged engine making 374 horsepower. But the M340 has a trick up its sleeve, as I shall now demonstrate by coming to a stop, flicking the car into sport, pressing the traction button once, firm on the left foot brake, and on the right, launch control active. That's right, no messing there because of xDrive. That means the M340i is a car that's capable of putting all that power and torque down to all four wheels, making it a very capable car in all weather conditions. As you can see, today is very frosty, and yet the M340i is seeming to struggle not at all. It really just deals with it. You know, it's quite nice that now for just 25 grand, we can now access this sort of power and also put it down, unlike previous generations. Look at that, third gear. Oh, it's a very torquey engine, as you've seen from my other B58 reviews on this channel. It just shoves you with the power down low, and now with that xDrive, you can actually put it down rather than just squabbling with the rears. But don't get me wrong, this xDrive system is still very rear biased, so you can definitely have your fun if you want to. It's very adjustable on the throttle, and that's exactly what we want compared to the likes of, let's say, the Audi S5. The turning is good, especially in these icy conditions. You know, you still get ample loads of front end grip, but the steering is a bit vague. But that is to be expected with an all-wheel drive e-pass system. It just robs you any sort of feedback through the wheel, but at least the steering is actually nice and direct, and you definitely can point it where the front wheels are meant to go and just sort of tidy your line. And I must say, even for the suspension, it's not exactly the most optimized for UK roads. The adaptive suspension really still irons out all the bumps. You know, this is a very bumpy stretch of road, and yet the car seems to be handling it just fine, and that's in its firmest setting. Especially with undulations as well, it just irons it out. You know, this is an M-Lite, it's not a full fat M car, so it's not exactly hunkered down like the M3, but it's still nice and composed. And compared to F-Series, this is a much larger car, so you've got a longer wheelbase, but not that much more. Well, now we've got more weight because of the xDrive, but it helps it plant the car on the road. But you do realize the bigger footprint, and that just does help sort of hinder in terms of making minor adjustments. You really do have to take into consideration how much space you're taking up on the road. But in terms of the agility, the G20 chassis really has got it right. Obviously that longer wheelbase keeps it more stable at higher speeds. And not only do you get all this performance from the M340, but you also get some more things that come with the package. That's the beauty of the M340i. You see, it really is a understated sort of package. You know, it's not trying to be something it's not. You know, it leaves the aggressiveness to its pig-nosed brother, the M3. See, this is much more sleek, much more of a sleeper sort of vibe, especially with this beautiful specification of Tanzanite blue. You know, especially complemented with the laser headlights, but we'll get onto those later. As for the interior of the M340i, it really is a nice place to look at. You know, unlike other oh, there you go, there's a gesture control popping off. But unlike other BMWs of the past where they haven't been as exciting compared to its rivals, this is definitely a level above. You know, you've got lovely inlays of piano black and ambient lighting. You know, if you guys really want an in-depth review of the interior, go look at my TikTok. But you guys will know that iDrive 7 is my favorite. Why? Because it's just a combination of everything. Touchscreen, buttons, everything that you want. And that's kind of what makes the M340i more of a bargain. You see the facelifts, the LCI, they've added iDrive 8, the widescreen, touchscreen, And if anything, it just makes things less convenient. And that's why I think this is even more of a bargain, because you're getting peak, you know, sort of interior, you know. And I must admit, obviously 30k is usually what the asking price for examples like this, you know, individual leathers, sunroof, you know, laser headlights, etc. But that's one good thing about the M340i. See, even the 25k examples, yes, granted, a car like this should have electric seats as standard, but really and truly, you found your driving position with the manual seats anyway. You're not really going to be moving much. And you get Harman Kardon and a reverse camera as standard. So do you really need more? That's another thing about the M340, you know, because it's not trying to be an M car, it's not trying to be some all-out going sports car, you kind of just knock it back into comfort. Not to say that obviously the G80 can't do that as well, but it's just easier to live with the M340, you know. Fuel economy is definitely one thing as well. You can get good numbers out of these, you know, 35 miles per gallon, you know, it's really good. It's a daily, and you haven't got to worry about massive brakes and bills. You know, the E58 is quite easy to maintain. There's a reason why there's so much internet hype behind these, because they're just so easy to live with. And that B58 just sounds so good. Just take a listen. It's just that lovely, creamy, smooth inline six. And because this is a 69 plate, you get quite a nice little bit of burbles, as obviously the 21 plates are MHD, which means mild hybrid, so they've obviously had to reduce the pops a bit. Crazy to think that in the M340i, you get so much for your money, you know? You get a really reliable, strong engine that's capable of like near 500 brake horsepower with just a downpipe. And then you get this lovely interior, comfortable suspension, ample loads of space. Really is quite a bargain for the money. Is there anything out there that might be similar? Maybe there is. Maybe, what if I told you, if you're willing to sacrifice a little, there's something out there that you can get for 10 grand less. Keep your eyes peeled for that one. But for now, I'm gonna enjoy this M340i, but you'll be seeing a lot more reviews on the YouTube channel. Don't forget the TikTok as well. But for now, I've been Carman Dam.